right, Qualify the Podcast. I'm your host, Hassan, and with me, I have a very, very special, distinguished guest. It is my pleasure to introduce, with a drum roll, published author, activist, life coach, founder of a 501c3,
Yes.
Forever Fat Foundation. Danyelle Potter is with me today, and we actually have a couple of things to discuss concerning basically an origin story, but also because she does have an event coming up, I wanted to make sure that we have this discussion to talk about mental health awareness, social awareness, just issues that are involved in our community that are becoming topics that we are discussing, but they haven't been discussed enough, in my opinion. Therefore, here we are. My lady, how are you?
I'm finding yourself.
Excellent. Crushing it. Slightly sore, but that's how this works. So I live sore. Lance Armstrong said live strong. I live sore. Like that.
Oh, okay. Well, brand your own seed.
Live sore. I will. I probably will. So we got history. I'll introduce that because I think I could say that we had an interim of time where we effectively grew up in corporate America.
Yes.
And in learning that, we knew each other and clearly are associated through really good people. But that growth journey took a pause, and then we found ourselves back in a committed social awareness circle, and nobody knew how old we were when we first met. So,
exactly.
that was the mystery. We were like, I wonder if they're aware of this. Like, but okay, cool. We'll keep a secret. But now the cat's out the bag, so it's cool. Right. It's my old friend Danielle. So, I wanted to let my crowd know about you. But before that, let me grab some housekeeping things real quick.
Okay.
Remember to like and subscribe. You can find me on all digital streaming platforms, including YouTube, under Qualified, the podcast. If you search under something else, you're gonna be listening to something else. Find me under QLAFD. Also, live streams are happening on IG Live every other Tuesday for Qualified Indie Radio. Real fun time. Hope you guys join in. But now to you. Can you give us a little bit about yourself as far as how your journey into being established started?
Journey into being established, I would say living life. That's my journey. But as far as how I came up with the concept for the brand and how Forever Fat started, I was actually on a track walking one night, 2013, had a lot of different stuff going on, and God revealed to me my purpose. And I was just thinking about everything I had been through, everything that was going on, and where I wanted to go in life. And fighting, achieving, and thriving just popped in my head as I was walking, and form of meditating and working out at the same time. So God was like, since I got your attention, let me tell you what you about. But and I thought about it. That's the story of my life. Everything I had in my life at that time, I have now and will have. I fight, I achieve, and I thrive, and I reach new levels of elevation as I continue on with life. So that's how Forever Fat Foundation got started. Forever Fat stands for Forever Fighting, Achieving, and Thriving. And we're working to break the negative stigma attached to mental health, rape and molestation, eating disorders, and mental illness. And it's perfect setting, perfect time to talk about it because it is Mental Health Awareness Month.
Yeah, that's actually a lot, and I think it's beautiful that it is that that forever fighting, achieving, and thriving. Like, it really is catchy, and I know that I've talked to you about branding before and how good of an actual name this is. I love the shirts. I need to get a shirt from you.
Okay.
But I have support. So the nature of this, as you mentioned, is that you're helping people become aware, highlighting mental health awareness, but also coaching, because you are a life coach. So you're providing coaching services through this foundation as well.
Right. I provide the life coaching through the foundation, free, of course, simply because a lot of people that have come from humble beginnings cannot afford what I offer, and they cannot necessarily afford to go see a licensed professional as such as a counselor. You understand? And not only that, I offer that comfortability of them knowing, hey, this is somebody that actually went through what I'm going through now and working through it. Everybody is on a journey to healing. We all got some areas in our life that we feel like maybe didn't necessarily go as smoothly as it should have. So we're trying to transition from broken to healing in different areas. And when you have been violated as a child, you see the world different. The way you process things is totally different than someone that grew up. They don't even have to say in a two-person household. I would just say that hadn't been touched or traumatized as a child, because you are more in tune to your feelings. You internalize a lot of things. You want to be careful about what you say. You're thinking through a lot of those thoughts that most people grew up to verbalize. You lost your voice somewhere in your childhood, and now you're trying to figure out who you are and gain your voice back. And it's a shame. Millions and millions of people go a lifetime without finding out who they are or knowing their true voice, just because they was violated as a child. That's a big thing to happen to someone at an early age.
Yeah, no, that's incredibly sad. The fact that it is statistically that amount is as high as it is. It bothers me to a core level as a parent, right? And as what I feel like is a relatively stable human being. These are things that I could never really even imagine, right? Because they never crossed my mind. Granted, your work in terms of making sure that the message is understood and that their voices are heard and that they are felt, it's something that I just have to thank you for, right? We need to celebrate that, because it's difficult enough for someone to come forward. It's even more difficult when they're identified and then they have to struggle through life, making sure that they insulate and shield themselves, based on the hurt and the trauma that they received. You're doing a good work. You're doing the good work. The foundation, how long has it been established?
Foundation started in 2013. We got our 501c3 in 2019. We went ahead and filled out and got it and got approved, and now we're here. And
how long does it take to get one of these? Because that's a 6-year gap, isn't it?
It's a 6-year gap, but when I first found out about my purpose, of course, I was in the middle of going through a lot of, you can say, turmoil. My world was up in an uproar, shall I say. So I had to step back. But the concept as far as the branding and stuff came in 2013. The actual work didn't really get done until 2019 per se, a little bit before that.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay. I talked to another individual about an NPO, and I was like, on average, now, not to say that I have interest in doing so under my particular brand. Later down the line, I will. I do have an aspiration for something. I try to keep it a secret, but the nature of how long it takes. I mean, he even said, it took a minute to get it. It's just, the nature of, I guess, having all your paperwork together, or
you have to have your paperwork, you have to have your board members, you have to have a business plan, you have to have a area of focus, because you don't want to be too broad. And basically, yes, I'm bringing awareness to a lot of things, but I'm the first one in the arena of nonprofits that cover everything up under one umbrella. You have an eating disorder, that's NETA. You have RAIN, that's rape and molestation. You have NAMI, that's mental illness. I combined everything and put it up under one. And then I took it one level up because I added the body positivity and the body shaming up under it. So you got Forever Fat. We're breaking the negative stigma attached to the word fat and mental illness all up under one company. And to date, I'm happy to say I am the only one that has the word fat in their company as far as branding, to my knowledge.
Okay, so then now after we talk about that, and you brought this up off mic, now I have to agree with it. At first I wasn't with it.
Okay.
Now I do, because of this little factoid. See that changes things. So you should have shed color on this in the first place.
Okay.
when you say that, because these things, now, stats matter, right? All the time. Numbers tend not to. You can fudge them, but if you're the only one that has fat in the name of your company that you are branding, then all right, maybe you can take it a step further. Like I don't see where, okay, now knowing that, and knowing that you actually identify and isolate as an anomaly in branding based on that wording. All right, cool. Maybe run with it.
Okay, you're talking about what we just mentioned not too long ago, right?
Yeah. We won't talk about it on camera, but
No, we're not. But
that.
we have a lot of people out there that say what they consider fat phobic, meaning you're scared to be around plus size people. You don't want them to express themselves because you're uncomfortable with us. And then you also have people in the plus size community that are about body positivity. But if you have someone that's plus size that decides to start losing weight, it's almost like it's an oxymoron because now you're bad to us. So you're kind of getting it from both worlds. And with Forever Fat, we're saying own the skin you're in. Be happy with who you are today and work towards your best self. I'm not telling you to stay one size or to look at another size as being greater than you, because can't nobody be you. You be perfect at being you because no one else can be you.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. You know what I used to, this made me think of something. I used to be, well, I kind of still do, but I was training people and I was working at a kickboxing and boot camp place, right? So it was like cardio kickboxing. I did real kickboxing across the Shift Channel, but at this place on the Southwest side, it was more like cardio style, right? And I was doing my little Billy Blank stuff.
Okay.
So, but the one lady comes in and she's with a group and they were talking about, just exercise and weight loss. And you're going to talk to the instructor about it.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, how much weight do you think I should lose? And I actually told her, I said, what would make you happy? And it literally, it stopped the entire conversation. She was like, no one's ever asked me that. Everyone throws out a number. Everyone's talking about, 30 pounds here, 50 pounds here. It's just, no, what's comfortable? What's comfortable for you?
Right.
Like I have a journey through weight gain and loss based on competition. It's not the same spectrum. So my conversations I'm trying to be sensitive and empathetic to those conversations because that wasn't my journey. Exactly. And if I tell you how to lose 5 pounds in one day, you ain't gonna like it because I learned this through the hurt business, and you would literally just sit in the salt bath and sweat it all out. Nobody wants to do that.
No, not at all.
Yeah, and for what goal though? Like we're just gonna fit into a shirt? Like it's So I promote health, which it goes to mental as well as physical.
Right.
And if that drops 3 pounds or 30, then that's life, right? But that's where it's supposed to be.
Speaking of that, I was talking to my brother as well as my doctor on 2 different occasions, and I was telling him I don't want to be skinny. I want to get back to the size Danyelle feel comfortable with. I love myself in the skin I am today, but I know I prefer to be at another size than what I am today. So I work towards that size. If I get to that size and decide to go smaller, I will. But the short-term goal is to get back to that size.
Yeah.
Period. And I'll break it down even one step further than that. I'm taking it 10 pounds at a time. That's how I'm celebrating. Like, okay, let me get these 10 pounds down. And then as I see the scale go down, that gives me motivation because you're seeing your hard work putting in. It's hitting on the scale, but at the same time, everybody have to learn to be happy with themselves mentally, because if this is not right, none of this is going to be right. So get this right and then focus on this. It plays, it's like a ping pong. It go back and forth. They bounce off each other.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'll dive deeper with you. So there's a whole lot of people that you see at the gym that you may think, oh my God, they look amazing. And they are legitimately suffering from body dysmorphia on the other side of the spectrum. So in one area, and I have a friend, and I don't think he would be uncomfortable with me telling this story, but I just won't mention his name. But a good friend of mine was somewhere hovering around 300. He was like 280.
Okay.
And he comes to me and he says, hey, and I don't know why he brought it up to me, but okay. And I was running like 5Ks, and he says, hey, I think I want to run. He said, I want to start losing weight. I want to run. I said, all right, that's fine. I said, I'll tell you what, I'm not coaching him. I said, but I will support you. I said, so if you would like to run, I'll run with you. I already do it. When you come out, I'll go out. He ends up running his first 5K with me. At his size, it was a bit of a push. But during that journey, that established journey at that time frame, that man actually shed half of that weight. He was like 145 pounds at the end of the road.
Wow.
Re-enlisted into the military because he's like, I feel great. I'm gonna go ahead and get back into the service. Re-enlisted, and he's somewhere around 150, 160 right now because of the journey. And even he, on that side of the spectrum, dealt with body dysmorphia. I mean, I would talk to him so much. I mean, even in these more recent years, and he's like, I don't see what you see in the mirror. I'm like, you're half the size you were when we met. He says, I don't see that. It's
Yeah.
it's like that.
And you know what? I will say, I want to say in 2002, I don't know if you were still at the job at that point, but I had decided to get bariatric surgery, right?
Okay.
I get the surgery, I lose 120 pounds.
Oh.
But back then, they didn't have the piece connected to the mental side of it when you went through the process. So I looked at myself in a mirror, and to me, I didn't look right. I started looking sickly to me. So it kind of scared me, to be honest. I'm like, this is not how I want to look. But another thing, I was going back to shedding the pounds. I have people with anorexic, bulimic. We have emotional eaters, as well as binge eaters, all within our community, right? But I always thought if you was anorexic, you was just scared of getting fat. One of the members within our community, I don't think she'll mind if I share this story. I'm definitely not going to attach a name to it. But she told me, she's anorexic, and she told me, she said, when she lose the weight or stop eating, it's like in her mind, when the skin come back, you know how the skin shed, when the skin come back, it's skin that hasn't been violated because she was sexually abused as a child. I never thought of that way, but being in this arena, I'm meeting different people and they handle their situation different. But just because you assume somebody's thought process is one way because they're real small and they're not eating, it's not necessarily because they're scared to be fat. And that had to open my door. But fat has hurt so many people over the years with the body shaming, the bullying. Fortunately, when I was younger, yeah, I got bullied maybe when I was in kindergarten. Some girls jumped me. They said I thought I was too cute. So maybe in hindsight, some way I start turning to food. It's a connection there. You know, when the man that used to abuse me, he used to take me like here. Somehow I will be the one that would miss the bus to go to school. This man would literally have sex with me, take me to the store, give me some candy, and drop me off at school. Just like that. So it's a connection to it, and it's a vice that I'm working on breaking. It is hard, especially when you've been doing it for X amount of years, to break this vice, but the connection is there. Now you're going back and trying to say, okay, I need to stop doing this. Am I eating because I'm hungry? Is it something I really want? Or am I eating just because it's emotion?
Sure.
So that is something I'm working on now in this season of my life. Normally I would be like, okay, I'm gonna lose weight. Let me do this 3-day diet. I can lose 20 pounds in 3 days, right? I have literally that 3-day diet, the military diet. I wouldn't suggest it. You can lose weight, but it's gonna come back double. So it ain't no point. Once you get to this size, we're like, I ain't got time to keep doing these fat diets. I don't have it. I'd rather just take it slow. And when it come off, it come off. I'll notice it. My body, I shrink into my thighs. That's how I tell people. I just shrink into my thighs. We're like, they just gonna be there. But it's okay. If somebody's out there and they're listening, learn how to love the self that you're looking at in the mirror. Mm-hmm. Get happy with that person. Fall in love with that person first, and then work on your figure. Yeah. It will come naturally at that point, because no matter what you see, whether how big, how small, you know that you love you despite what society says in the outside world says.
I think that's poignant and important, because everybody is dealing with, not everybody, a lot of people undiscussed are dealing with those situations mentally, that they need to actually fight through and work through in order for them to get over that hump. And again, it's on both sides of the spectrum. I've been in the gym for decades. I've been training people, I've been coaching people. I didn't realize I needed to be a psychologist in order to do this, because that's really what you're getting down to the bottom
Right.
of. But let's hop over to the other portion of this. See,
Okay.
everything you just said right now was talking about your background story, and to be very, very fair, you have established that a bit already between your work, your publishing, as well as what we just went through with the Daddy Issue show by Unconventional Spaces, Unconventional Shell. So I didn't want to dive too deep into it here within this
Understandable.
particular thing, because if you want to know more about it, she's gonna tell you where to find her later. So we're gonna wait for that. But with the nature of the platform, it's refreshing to be able to talk to you like this. It's blowing my mind. Like, you have to just know that we were kids, and now it's like we're adults. We're having a real adult conversation. Okay.
Exactly.
The event that you do have coming up, though.
Yes, my baby.
Let's talk about that. What is what's the name of it, number one, and when is this happening?
Hello, Gorgeous. It's a journey to healing. It's May the 21st from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. It's on a Saturday. I call it Self-Love Saturday just because I like to go against the grain. I let everybody else have Self-Love Sunday, but me and my people, we're going to take Saturday and we're going to run with it.
Okay. So this is now just there's the way I understood it. I'm not invited because this is women's only.
Exactly.
And where would they be able to find more information and or get tickets for this?
They can actually go to foreverfat.org. And as soon as they go to the page, it has a button called Hello Gorgeous. Click on it. It's going to take you directly to Eventbrite, and you can purchase your tickets. You can go to Forever Fat Fridays, click the link in the bio, click Hello Gorgeous, or you can search for it in Eventbrite directly under Hello Gorgeous, A Journey to Healing.
It's going to be really, really easy for you guys to find the tickets. They are actually moderately priced. I checked, because what I did is said, "Oh, you got an event? I'm coming." And you're like, "Wait, slow down, Turbo. You can't come." So he's like, "Yeah, just why don't you wait for the next one?" It's okay though. What I am going to do is to shout this out from the mountaintop, because I'm extremely proud of you, and I want you to.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
No, absolutely. It's a thing. And I tried to explain this to somebody else. I said, here's where I am now in life. And my station in life is that I have too many resources and too much experience for me not to be giving this out to people. Period. Right. Now, regardless of if those others don't believe that I did what I did, there's too many people who can vouch for that. So for here now, we just give as we can and support where we can. And, and the best person I've ever learned that from is our mutual friend, Roger Robinson.
Exactly. He's such a sweetheart.
Yeah, I keep saying it. I think if he could blush and we could see it, he would probably do that when I keep bringing this up, but it's okay.
He do it. His cheeks go high. Like, oh, you don't have to do that.
I get it. Yeah, all
right. That's him blushing internally.
Makes a lot of sense. Your business. I just, before we wrap this though, like the business of what you do under the foundation, I find it amazing. Life coaching, activism. How do you establish activism through the business? How do you do that?
Actually, I get out there and be on the scene. If something happened to a child, I'm there. I was there with Parents Against Predators founder Sonia Parker. We out there at the balloon release. We're at the courthouse. We're speaking up. If she call me and say, "Hey, something happened to a child," I'm going to meet her wherever she wants. Sometimes we're on the news, sometimes we're not. Sometimes we're just getting out in the community, working with other organizations, bringing these subjects to the forefront, because it's bad that we have to be out there when a child has passed. What can we do before it get to that point? That's where I'm going. We need to change the laws. As far as the statute of limitations, there should not be any, because you're saying, oh, you raped this child, but now since it's been 20 years, you don't have to worry about it. You off the hook.
Yeah.
But that person that you affected, that's going to take them through the rest of their life.
Yeah.
I have met women in their 70s that have never told a soul before they met me, read my story somewhere, and they feel comfortable enough to speak to me. And I know I don't talk about it like the book. It was so, this one lady, never met her. She was close to her 70s, mid 60s, let's say. But when we did the book release, she drove hours just to come meet me in person for I can sign her book and give her a hug.
Wow.
And I'm thinking like, wow, it's just me. And all that pain that I had to work through. First of all, I went and wish it on my worst enemy. But I had to learn how to release it, that anger, that hurt, that frustration, that disappointment, because I was that child that the mother took the man over her, so you have to work through that. But what people don't understand is you have to forgive the people that hurt you the most in order to get to where you're really supposed to be in life. It's not easy, and it's new levels to it all the time, but it's worth it. And me sharing my story and telling the world that they're not alone, for people when they hear my story and they know I'm so transparent with it, they know I'm so vocal and I'm not coming from a place of hate, that compels them to open up or at least want to talk about their story. That's the first step, because you internalize it so long. I call it the silent pandemic, because now society get to feel how we have been feeling so long by holding it in, where you put on that mask, especially when you first had to put on a mask. Some people had anxiety because they felt like they was being forced to do something they didn't want to do, and they couldn't control themselves on how they breathe. I had one girl, she just called me and she was just like, I can't breathe. And it's all because of the mask. But that's how people that has been violated for years have been feeling, and nobody knew. But that's why I said silent pandemic, because everybody is forced to wear a mask now, or was at one point.
Yeah.
Now we're taking ours off.
I love that. This is going to be an amazing event. That much I know, because I've already sat next to you as a panelist and watched how we all collectively touched lives within an hour's time. So I know that this is going to be powerful. You've already given out where to go to get the tickets. I'll make sure that that's in the description as well, just so that they can, hit the links automatically. And this will be airing really soon. But please, before we go, let them know where to find you on Instagram or any other social media.
Instagram, you can find me at Forever Fat Fridays, spelled just like it is. Friday is plural, so add the S to it. Facebook, Forever Fat Foundation. And you can also reach out to us from the foreverfat.org website.
That's perfect. All right. Well, listen, we'll go ahead and close out. We're going to get deeper later, because I feel like there's a part 2 coming up. However, you can find me all streaming platforms, any DSP you want to. Just search under Qualified, the podcast. Also, this episode will be airing very soon next week. Go support Danyelle Potter and the endeavors. She's in the circle. This is a part of the community. Mental health matters. Exactly. We'll talk to you guys later.